Hey, this is Craig. If you like this show and you want to support it and you want to keep it free, head on over to everyonelovesguitar.com/support. That's everyonelovesguitar.com/support. If you're a business owner and you want to increase your cash flow, or if you're a label or artist and you want to promote new music, then listen up. For information about advertising on Everyone Loves Guitar, including information on geographically targeted ads, go to everyonelovesguitar.com/advertise. That's everyonelovesguitar.com/advertise. If you want to buy or sell a home or investment property and you're here in the Tampa Bay area, in Hillsborough, Pinellas, or Pasco counties, then listen up. West Florida Real Estate is a local residential real estate broker that's helped over 250 Bay Area homeowners buy and sell their properties in the last 4 years alone. If you're looking to sell, you'll want to get their free report, The 7 Biggest Mistakes Homeowners Make When Hiring a Realtor. And if you're looking to buy a property, you definitely want to get your hands on the 21 Most Expensive Mistakes Tampa Home Buyers Make When Buying a Home. Each one of these reports is going to save you time and money. Inside, you'll discover the 7 most important things to consider when hiring a realtor, what to do if you're buying and selling a home at the same time, and the danger of choosing a realtor who agrees with everything you say. To get your hands on these free reports, head on over to westfloridarealestate.com. That's westfloridarealestate.com. Hey, everybody, this is Craig Garber. Welcome to Everyone Loves Guitar, and we are with a return guest. We're with one of my favorite guitar players. We're with Paul Pigat. He's got a new record out called The Game, and just real quick about Paul, I interviewed him last year, and honestly, he's one of the 2 guitarists that were new to me in 2018 that I met, who's really, what he does is really unique, and he's a really cool player. He plays in rockabilly, he plays acoustic. He's a beautiful player, man. So I would encourage you to check out that interview from last year. It's Paul Pigat, Pigat, and you're going to love his music, and I'm glad to talk about his new album. Thanks so much for coming, man.
Thanks for having me again.
Paul is just, I got to tell you, just woke up just for me. In fact, I nudged him. No, I'm just kidding.
Peter Cole.
Now, last year, I will say one more thing. Something weird had happened to me that day, on our first interview, and I remember I had told Paul, and it was so funny. I literally couldn't look at him when we were recording, because I would have literally been in tears. I don't know why. It was just, and then he brings it up to me first thing when I talked.
That was some funny stuff.
My God. And I will be revealing that soon on a video. Anyway, man, Paul's new record is called The Game. It's a beautiful record. What prompted you to put a record out in general, man? It's not easy, and certainly not profitable in many ways, making a record.
No. Well, I am of the age group that producing records is still, kind of the only way you can do things. And this was a project I started 10 years ago, and I thought it was just time to put another installment in, because it's supposed to be a trilogy, and you don't want to do every installment every 10 years. That
you got to have a real dedicated marketplace. Yeah.
They got to be they got to wait. They got to be very patient people.
So you just, and you were saying the next one hopefully will be out in another year or 2.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I actually realized while I was recording this one that I was recording 2 records. I was recording 2 very different sounding records. So I split the difference, and so I have this one, and I have pretty much half of the next one. So
great, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it. You have some solo acoustic songs on here, and you have some electric songs. Man, I'm not blowing smoke, but your acoustic playing is really touching. It's really beautiful. And your notes, this is the thing that I admire so most about your playing. Your notes are so clean and so clear, like every one of them. And it's just, it's really unique what you do. What guitar are you playing on that? Is it the same guitar the whole time, or?
No, I think I used about 4 guitars. I used my main guitar, which is a Guild M20 from probably about 1964. I used a Warren Murphy guitar that we designed together, which is like a jumbo jumbo L00. And then I used a real 32 Gibson L00 and about a 62 J45. it's sort of an amalgamation of those guitars, that whole record. But I think probably the majority of the record was on my M20, because I've had that guitar for years. I bought it in a music store for $100 because it was missing its back.
Oh, wow. And yeah, you do a lot of work on guitars on your social media post. Are you still working on guitars a lot?
Yeah, I'm doing more and more. Like whenever I have any time off, I'm in Warren's shop with him. And, I've always built guitars since I was a kid, but I was pretty terrible at it. And I never had access to a great shop with all the tools. So now Warren and I have become quite good friends. And I go over there and I bring these basket cases over there and I restore them. And when I find I paint myself into a corner, Warren bails me out.
Am I smelling a backup plan B, Pigott guitars?
Pigott guitars. That if you had asked me when I was a teenager what I wanted to do, I would have told you I wanted to build guitars. But
hey, man, who better than you to build a good quality acoustic guitar? Seriously.
I think there might be less money in guitar building than there is in playing music.
Is that possible?
Yeah, I know. It's amazing, but it is possible.
It's funny. When I first started the show, I had like 2 guys on who build guitars, and almost verbatim, they said the same thing. They said, look, don't go into this business if you want to make any money.
There's literally no money in it. Like Warren and I have designed a bunch of guitars together, and I put these guitars against anything out there, and it's not easy to unload them, and there are so many great luthiers out there right now.
Yeah, there are.
It's really amazing. I'm playing the International Luthier Show, the Vancouver International Guitar Show, in another couple of weeks, and I'm one of the demonstrators for a bunch of luthiers that are going to be there, and you can just see what people are doing out there. Like, it's incredible, the workmanship that people are able to achieve, and it used to be a very small niche market. When the big names, like the Larave's came out and the Gurians and all those, that first generation of guitar builders. But now there's so many of them that it's hard to be heard over the din.
Yeah. Okay, so it was cool to hear you sing. It was really funny because when you know someone and you don't know them in that context, and then you hear them sing, it's really weird. You're like, if you heard me sing on a record, you'd be like, what the, right? It'd be very weird. It'd be like, what the hell? But I
had no idea that Craig Garber sounded like Johnny James Dio. I had no idea.
Right. But see, that is not what you'd say. You'd say like, man, Craig really should stay in his lane. But with you have a really nice voice, man. It was really cool to hear you sing. It's very soulful. And it actually, it sort of made me look at you in a different way as far as like, your expressiveness vocally. I knew it on the guitar, but vocally it was really different to hear, to hear that, man. It was very cool.
Thanks, man. Well, I became a singer out of necessity, not out of any desire to become a singer. It was just the only way I could really get things going when I wanted to get things going. And I've grown to love singing.
Man, you do a great job. You really do. The thing is, your singing fits what you're playing, which is really nice.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, really nice. So you had 10 tracks. You have a cover on there, "Ring of Fire," which is done really well. Yeah. Are there any other covers on there?
Yeah, there's 2 other covers. I did a cover of a friend of mine's song called "Heartland," which is
that's a great song, man.
Yeah, it's one of the best murder ballads I've ever heard. And his name is Tola McNeil. He lives in Victoria. I think he's down in San Francisco right now. He's just an incredible musician, and he was roofing. We were all living in a house at one time, and he was doing his day job roofing, and he was driving home from the Heartland dump, and he wrote that song on a napkin on the way home.
That is so cool. I was wondering what because it was spelled. Usually, you see Heartland. It's H, like the Heartland. I knew it had to be something. Okay, thank you that's cool, man.
It's the Heartland Dump on Vancouver Island. Yeah, that's just
awesome.
A great little number, and I've been playing that song for years. And every time I talk to Tolan, I don't see him nearly as much as I used to. But I always ask him if he's recorded the song yet, and he hasn't. Like that song's been written for almost 20 years now. And I finally just said, forget it. I'm recording that song.
That's awesome. There's actually a bunch of songs written about the Heartland Dump. No,
Oh, well, that's good to
I
know.
have no
That
fucking
would be
idea.
awesome. It's really an exciting place. You never know what you're going to find there. Possibly a bear.
I have no idea. I don't know where it is. And what's the other cover?
Is Will Kimbrough's Piece of Work.
Will Kimbrough is coming on my show Will
tell him
Kimbrough
I
from
say
Nashville.
hi.
From Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Will's awesome.
He's coming on here like in a week or two,
That's
something like that.
awesome.
That's so funny, man.
Good. He is such a monster musician.
And which song is it?
I met him. It's Piece of Work.
Yeah, the fourth song. Very cool.
Yeah. Which I met him. I've only met him once, and I met him at the Pagosa Springs. I think it was the Four Corners Festival, years and years ago. And I was just completely blown away by his performance, and that song stuck with me. And I contacted him years ago. I said, "Hey man, I want to cover your song." He said, "That would be awesome." And I finally got around to it. And as I finished the recording, and I thought, I wonder if anybody else has covered this song, because I never really did any research for that. I found out that Jimmy Buffett does that song too.
Very cool, man. Yeah, he's coming on. Actually, it's not as close. It's about 6 weeks, but I'll make sure I say hello to him. Yeah,
tell him I say hello. He probably doesn't remember me, but it was what a wonderful experience to see him play and to hear him. Man, he's such a great musician.
I think he's like won like CMA awards or some awards for his songs.
He's
pretty prolific.
He's upper echelon stuff.
That's so cool, man. It's such a small world, man. With guitars and musicians, I got goosebumps. Like Will Kimbrough, that is so cool. What made you do Ring of Fire, man? It's actually one of my top favorite songs on the album. You did a great, really cool cover of it.
Oh, thanks. Well, I wrote that arrangement the day that he died. Actually, I was playing a gig, and I'd found out that evening that he'd passed away, and as I was setting up for that night, I thought, well, I got to play something as a tribute, and I wrote that arrangement on stage.
That's really cool, man.
It's it's been in my repertoire for quite some time, as you can tell.
What electric were you playing on there?
On the I'm playing an Echo 700.
What? Echo
EKO, like the Italian company.
Yep.
So it's an original 1962 Echo 700, which is entirely covered in some kind of plasticky silver sparkle.
Interesting. I was curious, is that reverb on there or just tremolo or both?
It's both. And also there's also I'm playing my Audio Vox 8-string lap steel with tremolo and reverb too, which is it gives a lot of that haunting sound.
Very haunting, man. It's a great cover. I really enjoyed that. I played that several times, man. Any overall theme that you're trying to put forward for that record?
Well, the first one.
What was the first one called?
The first was just called Boxcar Campfire.
Okay.
And they're all just basically, little vignettes, just little story vignettes about, life, and about. It depends on the tone of the record, depends on how I'm feeling. And the first one was really dark. This one's a little bit more comic. I wanted it to be a little lighter than the last one. And I don't know what the next one's going to be.
Yeah.
And then once the third one's done, that's it for Boxcar. We're just doing 3 records on that theme, and then I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna play polka. Maybe polka's my next thing.
I think so. I'm smelling it in polka.
Yeah.
Where did you record that, and how was it recorded?
I recorded it. I started it actually before I did the last Cousin Harley record at the same studio at Heavy O Sonic, and I was in the middle of recording the record, and then I shelved it to do the Merle Travis record. So yeah, it's a very simple recording studio. Really not a lot. We're using a couple of ear trumpets, and that's about it.
Did you have all the band in together at the same time, or did you just lay down your tracks and they lay down their tracks?
That's all me.
That's the whole. Everything is you.
Yeah, the only thing that's not me is Mark, and Mark is playing the percussion.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't afford to have a band.
It's so nice being broke. You get to be such a better musician, better writer, better musician, mixer, engineer.
I need a trumpet on this. Well, I guess I better learn how to play trumpet then.
There you go. Get a YouTube. How to play
There's
trumpet.
got to be a lesson on it somewhere.
Has to be, man. That's great. Hey, tell people about, you mentioned Cousin Harley. Tell people about Cousin Harley, because
Well,
doesn't know.
Cousin Harley's my main gig. Rockabilly, rock and roll, Western swing trio. Going to Europe this summer.
And Paul, everybody knows Paul in Canada. I've talked to a bunch of guys since you and I talked, and a bunch of Canadian guys. And the first name,
because I owe them money.
You said that, not me. I was going to keep that quiet, man. You know, I'm very discreet. But they said, the first thing I say is, "Oh yeah, I know. I interviewed Paul Pigat," and everybody's like, "That guy's such a badass, man." Like everybody in Canada knows you. Maybe you owe them, too, but you know, they haven't mentioned that. But yeah, man, everybody knows you. Any special guests on the record? Oh, so there was no special guests, just you. That's it.
No, just Mark. Mark's my engineer, and he owns Heavy Sonic, and he's a fantastic multi-instrumentalist and a great singer. And I've collaborated with him on a lot of records. Like, you know, he's recorded probably 5 of my records.
Okay, cool.
So I'm really used to working with him, and I know that, you know, if I need something, I just, you know, Mark is one of those guys that you go, he happens to have everything in the studio and he can play it all.
Man, that's the way to get on loads of records. You got to own this. When I talk to dudes that own a studio, they're like, "Oh yeah, I played on 300 records." I'm like, "Well, how?" I'm like, "Well, it's my studio." Everybody comes in. They needed a little piano, or the guitar we needed to overdub a guitar line, and I happen to play guitar.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it, man. Yeah, don't be a musician. Own a studio, and then you get to play on all the records. Even if you suck. I'm not saying anybody you suck, but I'm just saying, you know, what are they going to do? Tell you no? No, I can't have you do this. Brody,
right?
Really one of my favorite songs, but I can't help but think that I'd heard that before. Somewhere.
I did it. I've done that tune for a demonstration for the Gretsch center block Falcon.
That was what it was. That is such a beautiful song. What's the backstory to that, man?
I wrote it for a buddy of mine who passed away, John Brody, years ago, and you know, just he was kind of a sad soul. He was an awesomely fun guy. I possibly had some of the funnest times I've ever had in my life with John, but he wasn't destined to stick around too long. So you know, I kind of was not overly surprised when he passed, and I just wrote that tune for him because he was a pretty big deal for me.
Man, that is such a beautiful song. Every time I hear that, it's just a great tune, man. Really good. I knew I had heard it before. How are you enjoying fatherhood? Last time we talked, your daughter was like a year and a half old now. She's 3.
She's 3.5. She's going to be 4 really soon. It's awesome. Like the drag right now is that I am on the road a lot this year. It's not a drag because, you know, it's always great to be working, but you know, when you have a little 3 or 4-year-old at home, this is you know, this is a great time to be around them. Well, it's always a great time to be around them, but you know, 3 or 4 is kind of a magical time.
Great age. Yeah, they're innocent and they're starting to get interactive. So it's not like they're out of the sack of potatoes stage. You know? I mean, seriously, right? I mean,
no,
you know, they're like really cute. You know, they say really cool things, and you know,
she's her own little person. She tells me about stuff, and I now know all the hierarchy of unicorns.
Which is important.
There was a hierarchy of unicorns.
Which is important, you know. That's really cool, man.
It's a feudal system, I think the unicorns have.
And man, before you know it, she's at Bonnaroo. That's where my daughter is today.
That's right, exactly.
It's at least she's called. She sent me pictures, and she knows I don't know any. She sent me a video of fish. I guess she assumed that correctly. That was the only band I'd probably have any familiarity with. That was there.
Dad would hate all this stuff, but that guy's playing guitar.
Yeah, pretty much. As I don't know any of that stuff there. We're not musically compatible, but I thought it was kind of her to do that. So, man, people, everybody listening, check out Paul's new record. It's called The Game. If you still buy CDs, buy it at CD Baby. That'd be the best place to support Paul and his music. You could stream it wherever, because Paul will make a boatload of money wherever you stream it, so he doesn't care.
It's incredible. They deliver it. They deliver it in a wheelbarrow. Dump this, you know.
And he's got so much of it. He takes it over to the Heartland dump, the extra.
I do, and I'm making a creation out of all the melted down copper I'm using right now.
Dude, who's better than you? Also, a couple other things. Paul's getting ready to tour Europe, so go to his website. It's paulpigat.com. Paul Pigat. He is Canadian, even though still he's a really good guy. You should definitely check out his music. Check out Cousin Harley. Everything he does is great, man. He's an amazing player. I love his music. And I told him this, and I'll say this publicly on the show. Last year there were two new people that I got turned on to, whose music that I was just like, these two are the top. Paul's one of them. And oddly enough, I don't know there's no 1 and 2, but the other guy is Diego Garcia, who Paul introduced me to. He's kind of like the Latin version of Paul in a way, but playing wise, but he's amazing player. He does great stuff with the guitar, man. He's really on top of his game. And man, you have a lot of fun when you're playing, and you can tell that. And that's really,
you gotta, there's no reason to do this if you're not having a good time.
Yeah, but as a listener, that feels good. You could tell that when you're listening to music, like you can.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it feels good listening to you because I know you're having fun, and even like the emotional stuff, man. I know you're giving 110%, which is always awesome. Also, Paul, this is really serious, and Paul is available for lessons on Skype. He's booked over the summer because he's got too much going on. And like I said, he's getting ready to go to Europe. But if you want to connect with Paul, is there a contact tab on your website?
Yeah.
Go to paulpigat.com. If you're interested in, this guy is just brilliant, man. To check out his playing, he's a guy you want to learn from. And go to his contact page. Again, he's going to be busy over the summer, but let him know, intermediate and up only. Let him know what you're into and what you're looking to accomplish, or maybe you're looking for overcome something, or learn how to improve your writing or your playing, but just let him know what you're looking to accomplish, and then he'll get back to you. And man, I think that's about anything I missed.
I think you nailed everything.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Except for the stuff we talked about before, but we don't.
No, man, I can't. I'll be literally a bowl of Jello. I can't go there. Oh my God. Listen, man, I really enjoy talking to you all the time. You're a great guy. You're an amazing player. I'm glad we got hooked up, and I look forward to the next album. I hope the European tour goes great, and I hope you can turn out to a whole bunch of new listeners here. Everybody check out Paul Pigat, The Game, Boxcar Campfire, and all his Cousin Harley stuff. Cousin Harley stuff is great. He's well known throughout Canada. He's one of the top rockabilly players in the whole country. And
there are 5 people that know me. You've spoken to 4 of them.
You've spoken to 4 of them. I actually even spoke to a stoner rock guy in the middle of, I don't know where, but Canada, and he knew you. He goes,
really?
Paul Pigat, everybody knows that guy. Yeah. He's a stoner rock music. Ben, he plays for a band called La Chinga, Ben Yardley. Great player.
Oh,
man.
okay.
Yeah.
I know that name.
Dude, you are deep in the streets in Canada, man.
Well, that's one way to that's one way to do it.
Hang on, let me wrap this up. Everybody listen, Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this interview, please share it on your social media channels. Support Paul's music, Paul Pigat. Check out The Game, Boxcar Campfire, and all the other good Cousin Harley stuff he has. Make sure you go to everyonelovesguitar.com. Sign up to get on our newsletter list so you and I can connect. And most important, remember that happiness is a choice, so choose wisely. Be nice, go play your guitar, and have fun. Till next time, peace and love, everybody. I'm out.